Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio. Look at this story from the South Florida Sun-Sentinel newspaper. Dateline, Fort Lauderdale. Over a casual dinner, Rachel Kaplan turned to her boyfriend and asked, "You're open for a prenup, right?" That's what Rachel Kaplan said. Darren Waldoltz, 38, a partner in a successful speed dating business, admits he was caught off guard. But he said he realized a prenuptial agreement would protect the house he owns, too. "It's not that I planned to get divorced," said Rachel Kaplan, 23. A single mom from Fort Lauderdale who has a sizable inheritance. She said, "I have to protect myself and my daughter." Isn't it fascinating? We've been hearing from women who say, "Oh, prenups, so unromantic. They're so unromantic. It means you don't trust me. It means you don't want to give me any money. I wouldn't take your money. I love you. What do we need a prenup for?" Yeah, the minute they've got something to protect, like an inheritance, they're all over prenups. All you moronic men out there who are too much of a pussy to get your girl to sign a prenup, believe you me, she'd be happy to sign one if she had more money than you did. But generally, they don't. Says here, while men are more likely to seek a prenup, women are becoming a more dominant force, said attorney Alan Braverman, who has offices in Fort Lauderdale and Boynton Beach, Florida. Experts attribute the change to women marrying later or more than once, because they learned their lesson the first time. Matrimonial attorney Jacqueline Valdespino in Coral Gables, Florida, said it's not uncommon in today's world that women are entering marriages with assets and stock options. Now both sides have equal bargaining power. Well, it's not even that. When women don't have anything to put into the pot, they want to take half of what you have. So, of course, when they've got money, they don't want you taking half of what they have. That's what it's all about. Says here, because couples are not required to file their agreements in court, there is no way to track how many prenups exist and who requested one. But New York attorney Arlene Dubin, author of a book called Prenups for Lovers, said informal research shows that between 5 to 10% of never marrieds and about 20% of previously married partners opt for prenups. Dubin says divorce law takes a one-size-fits-all approach, whereas a prenup is your opportunity to tailor the law to your preferences. Christina Pinter, 28, of Hypoluxo, Florida, talked about her assets with fiancé Mark Prazak, 29, before planning their wedding. Pinter, an elementary school teacher, and Prazak, a ship captain, wrote an agreement that ensures her townhouse would remain hers. Pinter said, "I told him I love you, and I don't ever foresee not loving you. But in today's age, you never know." Courtney Knowles, spokesman for the nonprofit Equality in Marriage Institute in New York City, said interest in prenups is soaring. In 2003, the group, which provides information on relationships, marriages, and divorce, averaged 1,500 inquiries a month about prenups. In 2004, the number jumped to about 4,000, he said. Still, he acknowledged, studies by his group in 2002 and 2004 yielded the same results. About 65% of the 1,000 people surveyed said they wouldn't opt for one. Religion, it says here, is often a reason why. Those with more fundamentalist and conservative beliefs oppose prenups, while others leave it up to the couple, religious experts said. I didn't know that. Doesn't make any sense to me. Fundamentalists and conservatives get divorced too. Why would they oppose a prenuptial agreement? Edward Sunshine, professor of theology at Barry University, said, ironically, this is not something new. In the old days, families got together and made these agreements. It wasn't sealed on a piece of paper, but you knew if you broke an agreement, you had the family on your hands. Sunshine, who teaches a course on marriage and family, said, the church's teaching is practical, and it realizes that even though marriage is supposed to be permanent, half the time in the United States, it isn't. Still, he added, if you're at the beginning of a relationship and you start talking about prenuptial agreements, there is a suspicion that it's not going to work or there's going to be trouble down the line. Well, that's just stupid. Everybody should know that the prenup is coming. And then they should decide whether or not they want to get involved with somebody who would insist on a prenup. It's that simple. The whole world knows I would never get married without a prenup. Never. Rabbi Barry Silver of Boca Raton, Florida, who is also an attorney, said the antecedent for a prenup in Judaism is the ketubah, which dates back thousands of years. The religious document, he said, spelled out the obligation for the man and the woman getting married and what would happen should they split. Silver, a Reform Jew, said he can see why a prenup may be necessary for older couples with children, but for first-timers it shouldn't be a priority. Silver said when you first get married, you should be idealistic. If you start preparing for failure, then failure becomes more likely. That's ridiculous. Any more than I get car insurance for my car and then plan to go out and have a head-on collision with somebody because I've got insurance. Anybody out there driving like more of a nut because they got car insurance? When you got fire insurance for your house, did you set a bonfire in the living room to see what would happen? When you got flood insurance, did you take the garden hose and aim it in the basement window and turn it on? It's stupid. It's stupid. I mean, a prenup is nothing more than insurance, for God's sake. Says here, depending on the assets, a prenup can take anywhere from 1 month to more than a year to hammer out. Costs typically run from $1,500 to $30,000. To hold up in court, each party must have separate legal representation, unless one side signed a waiver. When prenups are challenged, the disputes usually stem from lack of full disclosure, said Miami attorney Melvin Frumkes, who co-authored an article on prenups for the Florida Bar Journal. He believes there will be fewer challenges in Florida because of a June state Supreme Court ruling that essentially said the winning party in a prenup suit can be entitled to attorney fees and other costs. So, girls, if you try to overturn a prenup and you don't have a case and you lose, you'll end up paying his expenses, so you'll think twice before you try that. The ruling was sparked by Amy Lashkajani of Lakeland, Florida, who sued her husband of 10 years, Hadi Lashkajani. She argued their prenup was unfair, but the court disagreed and ordered her to pay her husband's attorney's fees of $63,000. Though she challenged it several times, the Supreme Court upheld the ruling. Yay! That's what we need. You challenge a prenup, you better be right, or you pay his fees. Love it. Love it. So more women want prenups now. But that's because more women have money. That's the reason. Women who have money have no problem with how unromantic a prenup is. Isn't that right?
Tom Leykis. Tom Leykis. 1-800-Tom.
You sound like such a real nice guy.
I am anything but a nice guy.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. This is Bijan. Bijan, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Bijan, Tom.
Yes.
Man, you're my favorite guy. I love you the most, man.
Thank you.
I wish I got to you before. I have my life is, you know, thank God my father is a very smart guy and I did such a good thing with our life, but I got ruined by a woman because She told me love is so important and prenups, they don't count and all these things. And if you love me, this is not a real love and all these type of problems with this woman.
Yes.
So I told her, you know, this. She says, first of all, my father, we are Iranian family. My father, he brings all these spices from Pakistan. The company alone is worth $800 million. So, 8 years ago, we bought so much land in Vegas. Things we bought for $1 million, we're selling on the strip for $100 million now. The woman, she tells me, I love you. A white woman, by the way, blonde, okay? Tells me, I love you. You're the one for me. This and that and this and that. My father, the guy wanted to strangle me. He said, don't marry any of these girls from America anyway. So I don't listen. I go against the whole family, okay? I go, it's okay. I have myself, I'm worth maybe $400 million. So I say, I don't need my dad. I do this on my own. This one really loves me. So I said, okay, it's okay. We get a prenup together. I told her about the prenup. She disappeared. I couldn't see her again. She left me. I said, man, I'm going to go call her. It's okay. I'm going to marry this one. This one really is about love. So I go, I marry her. We're together, you know, as soon as we married, then my whole family kind of disconnects with me, doesn't say anything. She's saying, I love you, this and that. Then all of a sudden, I love you turns to maybe I love you once a week. Then she doesn't want to sleep with me as much. Then, you know, it turned out very bad. She started not talking to me anymore. She started saying this in my house, that in my house. Next thing you know, the girl is pregnant. Okay?
Of course.
Oh, she got pregnant so cool. I couldn't believe it. Then, after she got pregnant, you know, I'm a horny guy, you know. What do you want from me? You know, I have hair coming out of my chest all over. I have so much hormones. So I tell her, you know, please, I want to have sex, you know. She starts telling me after she's pregnant, okay? You know, I can't, I am in pain, I need to wait. You know, I can't, it hurts me, I have kickings. The girl is 1 month pregnant, kickings, what is this? So then, okay, I start telling her, you know, please, you can't do this, I really love you. As soon as the kid comes, okay, this half kid, you know, blonde and a Persian kid comes out, she starts saying, this isn't working for me anymore, my life, I need to have some space. So then I start getting letters. She disappears. I get a letter from the lawyer. We want to get a divorce, this and that. Long story short, the girl takes me for $150 million.
$150 million?
150.
Were you listening to our show back then?
I listened to you, Tom, a little. So I didn't have any girlfriend till I'm 25. None of these things.
Yeah, but what did I tell you about prenups?
Oh man, I wish 100. I wish 200 million. I could have been your best friend with me every day.
Right? We could have hired a hooker together every day for the rest of our lives.
Man, this hooker, at least they sleep with you too. This woman doesn't sleep with me for 1 year.
Unbelievable.
She got me like you don't know.
So tell everybody again how much it cost you not to follow the professor's teaching.
It cost me $150 million.
$150 million. You were a listener and you got married without a prenup.
Yeah, I am the dumbest man. You don't know, man. My family, we are so smart, and I make a move like a child like a baby with I don't know what in my life.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
If you listen to Tom, this guy is the guy. This guy, if you don't listen to this guy, you might as well go and shoot yourself in your face.
Go shoot yourself in your face if you're not listening, for God's sake. $150 million for not following the professor. And he admits it. And he had hair growing out of all over his body. He, of course, had a lot of hormones. He needed to have sex. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Jeff on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Dad.
Hi, son.
I just want to make a comment, Dad. I completely agree with you that women nowadays, they always want a prenuptial agreement when they have assets going into the marriage. However, if they didn't have anything going into the marriage, their opinion would be very different.
Yes.
Completely different.
No doubt. And that's how it is. Isn't it interesting? There's always these articles, oh, look at the increasing number of women who are into prenups. Because more women have money that they probably got from the last sucker.
Completely. It sure cost the guy who was just talking to you a lot of cash.
That's right.
Now, Tom, I got a quick question before I go. What, not who, is the biggest pussy in Canada? What?
The biggest pussy in Canada?
In Canada, the biggest pussy in Canada is what? The CRTC.
CRTC.
The CRTC, for chasing your ass out of here.
Well, you can hear us on The Buzz in Vancouver, and you can hear us on blowmeuptom.com. We're now streaming live. You can.
I just wanted to let you know, Tom, that a lot of guys here in Canada still listen to you, still appreciate you, and we listen to you any way we can, generally on The Buzz, but we'd like it if you were on a local radio station. Hopefully someday you will be able to come back.
I would love to, Jeff. We love Vancouver, I'll tell you that. Thanks a lot for the call. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Steve on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Tommy, great
Stevie.
topic.
Yeah.
Two quick comments. One, you just spoke my comment, is that most of these women that have assets most likely acquired them from a previous marriage where the guy wasn't smart enough to cover himself. And
then that woman who said that the prenup was unromantic in the first marriage has no problem with it the second time around.
And the second, just my advice, the analogy I use when I sell it to my girl is, I say, look, you know, no matter how romantic you want it to be, any relationship that needs a license or a certificate signed off by a state or city is a business agreement. And if you were starting a business with any kind of partner, like you said before, it's insurance. Who would, in their right mind, would go into any kind of business agreement with anyone, no matter how well you know them, and not protect each other?
That's right.
And that's hard logic to argue with, you know?
Well, I totally agree. As one who's had prenups, I know.
Keep rocking, man. Blow me up.
Here you go, Steve. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Jerome on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Tom, how are you?
I'm okay, Jerome.
Tom, first off, I got to say, like so many other of your listeners, I wish I listened to you regularly like I do now, because if I knew the lessons that you have taught me, I wouldn't be in the position I've been in, and I will continue to be in from this day forward. I got married 2.5, 3 years ago to who I thought was a great girl, no prenup, have a baby, actually pregnant before the ceremony, but engaged before we received the baby. And baby, same thing as the fella practically that you talked to ago. Baby's born, whole relationship changes, suddenly she's very distant, she wants a divorce. So I went to the divorce, I'm paying out $300 a month. Now I know that's not $150 million, but for what I was making at the time, that was a huge percentage of my income.
Yeah.
And then, I'm listening to your show, I start hearing things from some friends, and I get a paternity test. Baby's not mine. You hear that? Baby's not mine.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this is now a year or more of child support for a kid, not even mine. I tell you, Tom, you are a great scholar. You're a brilliant mind. I got to think that any guy that listens to you knows the truth that you speak and the great levels of honesty that come out of your mouth every second you're actually talking. And I tell you, I'm engaged now to another woman, and I'm getting a prenup, Tom.
Good for you. Now, you haven't set a date to get married yet, have you?
We're thinking about next summer.
Well,
nothing, we're engaged. We don't know.
You will not set a date. You will not hire a church. You will not hire a caterer. You will not hire a banquet hall.
Hell no.
Until her signature is on the prenup.
Yep, signature, and I want her fingerprints in blood, practically.
Well, I'll tell you something you can do, Jerome, which people are doing now. Do you know that if you're willing to spend a little extra money, you can have the signing of the prenup videotaped and witnessed by a retired judge?
A retired judge?
Yes, you get a retired judge. So he knows the law. He's just not practicing, and therefore, when you hire him, there's no conflict of interest. And he will ask all of the questions on camera about, do you understand what this means? Do you understand what you're signing? Did your attorney look at what you're signing? And it's all on tape. So if things don't work out, guess what? You have her on tape saying it.
That sounds like a great idea, because I got to tell you, she's a sweetheart and she's beautiful, but God knows that she's going to screw me over just like the other one.
Yeah, that's right.
There's no way of knowing, Tom.
Well, but there are ways to protect yourself and to at least give yourself a modicum of protection. A prenup is the best way to do it.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to have it videotaped. I'm going to have someone do a painting of us, a portrait, while we're standing out there.
Wow.
Tom, can you take me out with a big old bong hit?
You bet I can, Jerome. Here you go.
Wow. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
Why can't, someone court a person anymore? It's all about getting in their pants.
It is all about getting in their pants, dear. And you know what? For men, it always has been.
The Tom Leykis Show.
At 1-800-5800-TOM. Oh, yeah, women want prenups when they've got assets. Yeah, then it's completely romantic then. Completely wonderful. Raul, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Raul.
How you doing?
Do you care?
I do care, of course.
Doing great.
Good, good. I have a question for you. Well, I'm 29 years old, I have a girlfriend. I've been with her for about, for 3 years. I think I love her, I think she loves me. I think, we're thinking of getting married, next year, and we don't have any children, and I think I'm ready for it. So, I would like your orientation on this. I have a question. How could I tell her, about this prenup?
Very simply, you're not going to get married without one.
Okay. Yeah, of course. I'm gonna get a prenup,
But you're going to tell her you're not going to get married without a prenup. There's no two ways about it.
But how can I tell her without, hurting her feelings,
there's nothing to hurt her feelings. It protects both of you.
But
okay,
if you had a girlfriend, all right, that you love and you want to get her,
I've done it already.
Okay.
I told her if we don't have a prenup, we're not getting married.
Okay, just straight out like that, right?
Don't be a pussy. And by the way, if she says, "Oh, I don't like it, it's unromantic," then forget it.
I won't get married. I won't get married if she doesn't want to.
There is nothing in it for you. Why do you even want to get married? There's nothing in it for you.
Well, I like to have, a child. She's from Colombia, and she doesn't want to have, children if we don't get married. So.
Okay. All right, you want to have children. All right, I'll buy that. That's one of the two reasons I give for getting married. If there are any good reasons, one is you want to have children and raise them in a stable two-parent household. Okay. Two, if you're with somebody who needs a green card and they can't stay in the country any other way. That's the other reason. Okay. Other than that, there are no good reasons for a man to get married, okay? So you have to tell her, by the way, I'm sure in Colombia they don't have prenups. I know
what I'm thinking? I'm thinking of going over there and just get married over there, with her. And
it doesn't matter where you get married. The prenup applies to where you get divorced, not where you get married.
Oh, okay.
You see? Now, in South America, I have some familiarity with this. In South America, there are different divorce laws. And mostly, it's like it was 40, 50 years ago in this country. Guys pretty much get off scot-free even when they're ordered to pay money. The courts are not very good about collecting it or making them pay. So when a man gets divorced, really a prenup's not as important in South America as it is here.
Okay, guy, I didn't know that.
So, by the way, if she's from Colombia, how long has she been here?
Well, she's been here. Well, she's been here. I don't know, 6 years. I think she's been here.
6 years. Okay, she may not even know what a prenup is.
I don't think she does. That's why I don't want to comment anything about it. I think I just want to. But will she know? I mean, because she's got to sign something, right? She's got to sign a paper.
Not only does she have to sign a paper, she has to have her own attorney representing her.
Oh, okay.
So you have to make sure she knows that.
Okay, so how can I work it out? How can I, you're
going to let her know that in this country, divorce is very complicated.
Okay.
And you never plan to get divorced. But because it's so complicated and because it's so costly, you'll save yourselves a lot of time and trouble if you write out in advance what would ever happen.
Okay.
If you ever got divorced. And you tell her that you will put that agreement away in a safe deposit box somewhere and never look at it again because you plan to be with her forever and ever and ever. But you will not get married without one because in this country, men get screwed in divorce. And you can't have that happening.
Yeah, because we've got to protect ourselves, exactly, from giving away our money, money that we worked out for.
But the trick on this, Raul, you can't back down. You can't be a pussy. She's going to say no.
Uh-huh.
She's going to say no.
I'll down for it.
That's what you do.
Do it.
All right.
Dad.
All right, son, here you go. 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Paul on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How you doing, Bob?
Hi, Paul.
I got the answer for everybody out there. I'm a divorce lawyer out here in the San Fernando Valley, and I get confronted with this question all the time. She'll get angry, she'll get mad, but there's a real simple solution. I do what are called modified prenups. And basically what I say is, okay, for the first 10 years, it's rock solid. In year 10 to 20, you have a 50% buy-in where the prenup dissolves 50%. And after 30 years or so, it goes away completely. So if the woman intends on staying with you forever, in year 31, it's like it never happened, like you never had a prenup.
Right.
But in years 0 to 10, when it's just rock solid 100% each way, there's nothing for anybody. So there's not really anything to complain about because the women plan on staying with you forever, right?
Right. And, Paul, you practice law here in Southern California. What percentage of people getting married in the last 30 years have stayed married for 30 years?
Well, the divorce rate right now is approximately 65 to 75%, depending on the stats. So
right.
You have old people who are 80 or 90 who, in their generation, that's what they did was stay together forever, even if they hated each other and live in separate rooms.
Right.
But right now, you have such a high divorce rate, and it's just like you said. All we care about at the time of divorce is who makes more money and how long have you been married, and we're going to go ahead and issue spousal support based on those figures right there, no matter what, for the most part. Even if the guy makes $100,000 and she makes $60,000, she's going to make a spousal support argument, and there's most likely he's going to have to pay something.
Right.
And that's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Completely ridiculous. So, anyways, that's the approach I take. And you know what? If you approach a woman that way, and you say that, and you put it in her, there's no response to it. Because the only response is, what, I don't plan on being with you forever? So, a guy goes into it forever. If she goes into it forever, the prenup will dissolve, and that's fine.
Sounds good to me.
Those are my 2 cents.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Tom.
Appreciate the call. James on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Professor Father.
How you doing?
Very good yourself, thank you.
Good.
And so this is just a phenomenal topic today because yesterday I was propositioned with a marriage that was fixed from a friend of mine's sister who is in Mexico. They want to offer me $30,000 to marry her till she can get status.
Right.
And I'm reluctant on this because I got burned on a marriage before, but my friends are saying go for it.
Well, I'm gonna give you the one fact that will keep you from doing this.
Okay.
All right, this is a fact, and I know because I have dated many women with questionable citizenship status who have been through this. I've seen the paperwork. I know how it works. Okay. When you marry somebody so they can get a green card, the government has a way of discouraging you from doing it, and here's how they do it. Among the papers you would have to sign is a paper that says you will provide a minimum amount of support to this person for the first 10 years they're here, so they cannot go on welfare. That minimum amount is approximately $16,000 a year. So that means
child support issue. I don't need another kid.
If she divorced you, or you divorced her, and she couldn't find a job because she's from another country, because her English isn't good enough, whatever, you would have to pay her expenses up to $16,000 a year, and she would have it signed and notarized by you.
And that lasts for 10 years, you say?
10 years. She can't go on welfare or any other government support for 10 years.
So at $30,000, we're looking well under. We need to be at $160 minimum.
Well, that again, you're going to get for $30,000. You are. This is a bet they wouldn't even take in Vegas. But to get $30,000 for sure, you'd have to bet $160,000.
Yeah, I don't like those odds. No. Thank you, Professor.
James, don't do it. And by the way, it's illegal.
Oh, is it? That was the other thing, was the ethical, moral.
I mean, you know how complicated it is? By the way, I know many women I've dated who got green cards, and they told me about the process. You have to have pictures of the two of you on vacation. You have to have tax returns you filed together. You have to have other things like utility bills with both your names on them and other bills with both your names on them. You have to have pictures of the two of you hanging out with your mutual friends at, like, Thanksgiving.
This isn't even going to get consummated. So thanks for finishing my thought process.
Yeah, this is not, for $30,000, a bad bet.
Excellent. You are the man.
Thank you, James.
Have a good night.
Appreciate the call.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
You know the definitions of the word slut and the word bitch, right?
No.
A slut is anyone who's had more sex than I've had. You know what a bitch is?
What's that?
A bitch is a slut who'll sleep with everybody but me.
The Tom Leykis Show.
It's the Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM. Thomas on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Thomas.
How you doing?
Do you care?
Of course I do.
Doing great.
Fantastic. Hey, got a little success story from you. This is my second time calling.
Cool.
Hey, I called you about a couple weeks ago, and the topic wasn't this. It was about prenups. And basically I told you I was I've been with a girl for about 5 years, and I dropped the prenup on me, and she did the whole, you don't love me. You know the spiel, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I stuck to my guns, and basically she broke. She said, you know what, yeah, I'll sign it. And go ahead.
I'm laughing. I love it. I love it.
Exactly, and I just want to let these guys know that, I know it hurts when, they want to break up over this issue, and a lot of guys bend, and that's why they don't get it. Just like that guy who lost $150 million, which sickens me, by the way. And just stand tough. Just stand tough, man, and if you give in, you're going to be giving in your whole damn life.
That's right, because you'll see how unromantic they are if things don't work out. Bottom line. Justin on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Justin.
I want to tell you about my experience about marrying a girl for a green card.
All right.
Whatever guy out there ever has the opportunity to do it, no money's worth it.
Tell us why.
Oh, the heartache. Like you were talking about the pictures and the paperwork, especially when you go in for the nice little interview. They make you look like you're a pile of dirt. And they try to make you admit that you're doing it for money.
Which you are.
Actually, I'll be honest with you, no, I didn't do it for money. It was a friend. It was a real close friend.
Oh, God. But think about it. A friend who is not attracted to you.
No, attracted. I get to, bang her once in a while, but
only because she needs a green card.
Actually, I was banging her before the green card.
Right, you were banging her, and then she asked you to help her with a green card.
About 2 years later.
Yeah. But she also bangs other people.
No, absolutely not on that one.
Really?
Absolutely not.
So she doesn't like sex that much. She bangs you once in a while, and that's it.
Well, we are, crappy jobs and stuff, so we're always working all the time.
Right.
When she's not at home and stuff, she's at her sister's house, and my buddies live right next door to her sister, so.
They're keeping an eye on her for you?
Absolutely.
Right.
Because the moment she goes beyond me, she's going back.
So have you learned anything from this experience, Justin?
Well, actually, yeah, I'll never go back to a white chick. I'll tell you that. I did learn that. That's one thing I did learn.
Don't go back to American chicks, period.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Where is she from?
Peru.
Uh-huh. Is
Yeah.
that the best lay you've ever had?
Beyond.
Yeah.
Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah.
But these guys that even think about it. I had a couple buddies that asked me, if they should do it. None of my friends know that I did it, because you can go away for a long time if the government find out. Yeah, I tell you what, I've even, I've seen them parking out in my parking lot.
Oh,
apartment.
Boy.
Yeah, trying to see if we're living together and stuff.
Oh, love that. Well, good luck on that, Justin.
Yeah, you're telling me. So guys out there, don't do it. It's not worth it.
All right. Words to live by. Our email address is my name. It's tom@blowmeuptom.com. tom@blowmeuptom.com. Call our comment line at 310-842-9592.
The Tom Leykis Show.